Hey guys, I just want you to get some ideas about this webinar today. We're going to do a market projection for next week. It is Saturday. Just give you some times. It's actually 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, June 7th, 2014. So just give you some insights about this webinar as we just kind of fit everyone in. We actually were bogged down last webinar, so this just gives you an idea of what to look for next week. But it is a different when you get one-on-one training and more of a personalized situation, so you have a more independent way to react to the market. Because I'm going to be just covering the day 4 and 1 hour chart for today, and like I said, it's going to be a little bit different for certain people because they might want to scalp the market or even day trade it. So I'm just going to go through some information with you to give you a better insight of how to read and look at the fundamental and technical side of trading. Now, some of you are pretty well known for this website. It's forexfactory.com. It kind of lists the calendar. If you click on that, make sure it's on the same time zone as you, where you're located at, and then you can see that there's bank holidays, and those are days that typically want to have just they may be slower markets for those currencies. Okay, and then if we go down to the bottom here, the bigger announcements that you should be aware of is the non-farm payroll, which comes out on every Friday of every month, the very first Friday. And then you have your Fed announcement, which is typically in red. So these red ones are the ones that you want to be aware of, but the orange ones can affect the market. But obviously the non-farm payroll and non-employment rate is something that big moves happen within a very short amount of time. Now, with spike trading and news announcements, you may not get filled. It moves a lot quicker, and so those things to consider. Some people have softwares, but again, they're typically not as reliable. If you just got to be understanding how announcements react to the markets for you to either use your program and be able to benefit and make some money from that. Okay. But on a more institutional side and looking at the bigger picture, is Bloomberg is a good website to refer to. You get more of the economics of what's happening, what could affect the market on a fundamental basis, how much debt a country has, and how that moves the actual market. Okay, so obviously there's a lot different point of view when you're using Bloomberg and some of these other more well-known products, but obviously they're more for institutional traders. Here I'm just going to kind of walk through these currency pairs for you, and just realize if you decide to take these trades, they're on your own risk, and that the market can do everything it wants to. Like I said, there's certain strategies that we have that we teach on a one-on-one basis, and it is a lot different, and it helps people in more of a long-term perspective, where this is more just I'm just going to give you more of an analysis of what could happen for next week. And like I said, the market does not have to do what I have to say. I'm just looking at it in a certain way. Okay. So here on the euro dollar here, what we can see is we have obvious support on the bottom. Okay, and here we can see that this market has bounced off. This is a false break on a daily perspective, but this is where the non-farm payroll kicked in. And like I said, some people typically will completely stay away from news, or they will be involved and they made some money. Okay, but you can see that the overall direction is up. Okay, on a sideways perspective. So we're in a big range. We have a range of between the high and the low here of 1.3582. And I'm considering the bodies, as you can see here, but this market may, right here, this current market price may pull down and then continue going upwards, because we were on a strong downtrend, but this market may come back up towards this price. It may not get all the way up there, but that's something I'm going to be interested in, is 1.3931. So once it gets here, that might see a reversal as well. In a long-term perspective, you can see that we've been uptrending. Okay, so we have like a kind of like this. You can see that's like this. You could probably fit it in more like this. Okay, so it's sitting, and like I said, this thing could continue going upwards, and so your overall target could be the top of this channel here. So we may struggle here, but we may get up here. So as you can see, as far as like possibilities are concerned, we see short term, we may see some sell opportunities next week. But once we get here, I will be interested to see if this thing picks up or kicks off this trend line, and there'd just be a possible great buy opportunity, or you could be in right now and just hold on to it for a while. Okay, and you can keep this your stop loss right on this area because of these wick lows. Okay, so here to here is 390 pips, or even up to 300 pips. Okay, so that's a pretty good target point. A 4-hour standpoint, you could use Fibonacci here, like this, and then overall, like I said, we've trended downwards, but we may start to reverse on the upward swing. Another way to look at this in a very simple manner is we have a trendline break on the 4-hour chart, but you can see this price just kind of meander, and it's kind of still not committed in any direction at all. Okay, so that's going to be a big part of where this market may go, is we need to see like a commitment pattern. So what I'm looking for is an X right here. So this market may just tumble down, engulf or kick off these prices, so that would be almost like a triple bottom, because this is like the news announcement. Now it's actually stabilizing. I'm looking for a buy right around 1.3060 area, or 1.36 area. Okay, so right around this area, I may look for it to start to trade upwards, and I might look for a buy opportunity after the break of this high. Ultimately, it may struggle right around this price. As you can see, it was support, may act as resistance in the future. Okay, so, but I can see that this thing could ultimately get up to this resistance here. Okay, so if we kick back up to the day chart, like I said, it may struggle right around here. You can see it's resistance, resistance, support, acting as resistance. So this thing has, on the day chart standpoint, we may just climb, but we may struggle throughout these prices too. Another way I'm looking at this is this as being the overall target. So this is where, if you look at it in a long-term perspective, this may be the X I'm looking to get out of. So from here, looking at enter here, stop loss 80 pips. Now this is considerably big for those that are swing trading. Okay, so this is long term. This is a 431 point trade. Okay, but you can see the risk to reward. I mean, that's like 4 times, 5 times bigger on the swing trading perspective. But like I said, if you want a tighter stop loss, then you may want to look for this to drift downwards first and then get in, and then you can have a tighter stop loss. So if it engulfs on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, then get in, have a small stop loss, and then just massive take profit. So like I said, this thing could just, I mean, from here to here, that's about a 450 point trade. So the 1 hour standpoint, you can see it's just choppy. So there was news announcement, the market's trying to stabilize, and like I said, this X is considered the possible bounce of this market. So it may not bounce off this yet. This may take about a day or two to get down here. So there's some short-term sell opportunities possibly, but long-term, on like a week perspective, I'm looking for this thing to climb. This was Frank. Now this is a pair that I'm really interested in because it does typically the opposite of what the euro dollar did. So you can see that this candlestick is the opposite, and this is the actual news announcement of the non-farm payroll. Okay. So let's actually pull this back like this. So overall, we're on a big downtrend, and what we've actually created is we've seen this point, but if you don't consider the body, and that this is the body, okay, where this is the ding and this is the body, then what we may see is either a double top, okay, may come back and hit this resistance here, and then I'd be more interested to sell it when it pulls back if it does. So you could actually have your stop loss right around here. Okay, and like I said, this is long term, and pulling this down back down to support right around here. Okay, that would be my target, but this market may go further than this previous low. Okay, but this is going to be a price I'm going to be interested in at 0.87119. we may see it bounce. But you can see as far as current market price that we pushed downwards, but we may pull back up and kick off right around here. Okay, you can see a support there and right around here. So, like I said, if you want to just put in a sell position, just a small position for the long-term sell, or you may see as far as better drawdown, look for a possible pullback right around that closing price right here at 0.8964. 4-hour standpoint, like I said, it's pretty much the mirror image of the euro dollar. I mean, look at that. We've broken a trend line, but we haven't really retested that trend line. So like I said, this pattern may swing up. You may get in as a small sell position next week and have your stop loss right there, and then possibly predict that this market is going to tumble downwards. Or we may look for a better and closer entry on this X. Okay, so we looked at the euro dollar. It may just do the exact opposite as the euro dollar, so we may see the X as the pullback. So right here, pulling back to here to go down. Or we could look for the break of this low right here at 0.8913. What I like about this pattern too is just a test trade is it broke support and it's retested. So, I mean, like I said, you could take the possible sell position and keep your stop loss right here and expect this engulfing pattern to hold on to the selling opportunity. Okay. The 1-hour standpoint is a little choppier. Okay, so the markets are closed right now, but they'll pick up tomorrow. And this is more a long-term trading opportunity. But like I said, if you don't want to miss out, this may be a great sell break command at 0.8911 area. And just looking for this thing to possibly just take off on this downward momentum here. Okay, but you can see price is kind of hovering upward. So like I said, this market may just pull up, pull up, pull up, and then here I'm going to be looking for that engulfing pattern to sell off and trade this downwards. Now we did some technical analysis on this one, but I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. So this one I think is going to be kind of confused for next week because we are in somewhat of a range. You can see we've tightened up quite a bit. Now if the euro and the pound are following each other on the economic side, then this one is going to go up. Okay, and they don't have to follow each other, but on an economic note and looking at the bigger point of view, let's see what we have. We've been on a strong uptrend. Look at that. So what do they say? They say that trend's your friend. I'm probably going to look to buy this pair up. Okay, so we have smaller trend lines on a smaller time frame, and this might be the buy opportunity right now. And just use this trend line or this support resistance level here as a swing point as your stop loss. But here what we have is we may have a market come down, stay above these closes right here, and then go up. So this could be a really tight stop loss in comparison of a take profit that we can't even refer to. I mean, this thing could just keep on climbing. I mean, probably even a 400, 500 point trade. Okay, so that's good stuff, isn't it? So my bias is the buy opportunity because of the strong trend. I mean, it would have to completely break and then maybe do another pattern before I get more convinced of a sell opportunity on a longer term point. So next week I'm going to be more interested in buy opportunities. So the more we kick off this trend line, the more I'm going to be looking for buy opportunities. The 4-hour standpoint, a couple things to consider is we are kicking downwards because of that candle, but you can see that this trend line just fits perfectly. Okay, so this is a breaking opportunity. Like I said, this market may just shove itself down a little bit tighter, and then we start to commit one way or another. But like I said, you know, a lot of people don't look behind them. Oh, let me close that out like this. Okay, if you think about it, most people are, if they're scalping, okay, they're only looking at this. They're not looking at the whole picture. And you know, it's not bad to scalp, but like I said, you want to see the obvious trades, and so here we short term we could sell this pair off down towards this trend line area. The 1 hour standpoint, oh my gosh, look how neat this trend line fits on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour actually looks really good, but like I said, this thing may look like it's going to go down, but it may not surpass this low right here. So what I might look for is a possible reversal right around here in these areas, that the price will hold above that and kick up. Okay, so you can use a trend line or support resistance level above this area of 1.6820 area for a long-term buy opportunity. Okay, and this is for those that they have to work 80 hours a week, and so this is an opportunity that could happen maybe on Monday or Tuesday when it breaks. So we'll really see. Again, you can refer to like Bloomberg or some of those economics sites for more information about what could drive the pound upwards and give it strength, or vice versa, the dollar to weaken. Let's actually look at the yen. Now, looking at a long-term perspective, let's actually look at this. So we are on an upward trend, as you can tell. Okay, we've climbed up, and you can see that this is a solid trend. But here, we're running into it. Now, a lot of people wouldn't see this, but look how many times, I just want to refer this to you guys. So you had this point and this point. Look how awesome. I mean, small stop loss, big take profit. Small stop loss, big take profit, right? Or you could have took this double bottom. Small stop loss, big take profit. Now, some people think that 90-point stop loss, all you need to do is change your lot size to handle that for your account, and then you can just let this thing go. So you can see what kind of market we've actually faced. We face a sideways market. We might pull downwards because of this resistance level short term, but we may struggle to get to this support level again. Okay, so we had some peaks. So my bias still is the buy opportunity long term. There may be some short-term sell opportunities, and it may not respect this trend line. It may just pick down here to 100.97 and then buy upwards. But what I'm looking for, if it does kick downwards, then I'm going to be drawing a trend line like this, or even like, not that ugly. Let's see if this trend line fits. Something like that. Okay, and like I said, this is kind of distorted here. Let me see if I can fit it better. But I like that, I like how it's fitting, and it may just come down a little bit, and then we'll see right around this price if it does hold and then kick upwards. But this trend line, guys, is a really solid trend line, and it may next week as well could be a sideways market. I mean, it may be a little bit tougher to trade. The 4-hour point of view that I have is we've engulfed in a way where we may have a short-term sell opportunity back towards these areas. It may hold above this price at 101.75. Okay, so we have a low and a higher low, and we may have a higher low right around this area. So this market may not surpass this low right here. Okay, it may hold up, as you see on the left-hand side. So selling it is actually a lot more risk involved, and you can probably see that this market may tremble downwards, and then we can draw our trend line for a 1-hour breakout. Okay, so this thing is just kind of holding downwards, and so I'm looking for a possible better entry point like this. So if it tumbles down right around here, I'll have a pretty nice trend line break and an easy stop loss to refer to as far as another swing low that we create. Okay, and then look for the upward trade. So selling this, you could. It's just a little bit more risk, maybe not surpassing right around here at 101.78. Okay, with the USDN. The Aussie dollar. Now, this one we've talked about, and I really hope you took advantage of it because it's doing exactly what we projected. Okay, so I hope you guys are involved, and I'm just going to kind of walk through this with you. Okay, so what we may be facing is some struggles here. Okay, and this market may even do some small candlesticks. So next week we may go sideways and then commit. It could either commit upwards. Okay, so like I said, the market can only move in three directions: sideways, up, or down. Okay, and this market may hold up on this price, but we did talk about this candlestick right here, which is affected by the dollar, of course, the non-farm payroll. But let's actually look at this. Okay, so we have a trend line that I'm just using as a reference. Let's actually pull this back further. Yeah, so I mean, here's a downtrend. Here's a trend that's kind of holding up, and we may see if we can. Yeah, I think that this price right here is gonna struggle. So I would like to see a smaller close beyond this price. Then I'll be actually interested to sell this thing off. Okay. Another way to look at it as well is there's a great support right here at 0.9217. This also is a great price for it to break and possibly trade downwards to the bottom here. So we've broken a trend line. We're pretty much in the retest phase, and I'm just really looking for this to show another red candlestick. That's it. So Monday is going to show me what this market's all about. So we may have some big moves. I mean, look at that. I mean, if I decide to have a small stop loss, which is relatively small for a swing trader, and then look how big the take profit is, about 616 pips. The 4-hour standpoint looks really good because, I mean, these candlesticks that are chopping through, now you say, well, how do you draw your trend line if it's chopping through like that? But you can see that this is a wick on a day chart point of view. Okay, so we have a head and shoulder pattern, broke that neckline. I mean, this thing just tumbled, and we did talk about this trade, and I hope you took advantage of it during that time. For those that are in the trade room, but here, I mean, we're in that phase again. I mean, we're really respecting this trend line here. So this could be the entry, and your stop loss could be above this wick high, and this may consolidate a little bit and then take off. But we can first target it at this 0.9216, and then at this area I might look for a bounce trade. The 1-hour standpoint, like I said, look how that pattern, it is pretty much a head and shoulder pattern that we're breaking. We're closing beyond. But like I said, next week we may pick up some volume to pull back up, maybe retest in this area here. It doesn't have to break downwards, okay? So this market may do something like this, where it kind of meanders upwards a little bit and then shoves itself down. So it may go like this and then shoves itself down. But if you can see that right around here will be some good resistance, stop loss right there, and then just like I said, just a 120 point trade, which is fantastic. Another way to approach this market is this more steep trend line here, and this could be a break trade too. So like I said, this market may struggle here and kick upwards too. So this could be your trend line that you're wanting to sell off of, and then you can refer this as your swing point of a stop loss. The US CAD, well, again, the commodity pairs, the way it works is that if the Aussie is going to go down, then typically, it doesn't have to, but the US CAD may go up, okay, because the dollar is being dominant in those pairs. So looking at a day chart point of view, I mean, we've uptrended. I mean, that's an obvious uptrend. Let's actually see what that looks like. Okay, we have a beautiful trend line. I mean, we were looking for a reversal before, and this market right now is consolidating. So what I'm looking for is possible pullback right around at 1.08. Then I'm going to look for a possible buy opportunity up on the upper swing. I can change this trend line like this, okay, and use this as my breaking opportunity. Okay, if this is a swing point, and if it does pull downwards, then I might look for the continued move. So obviously, I'm going to be looking for more buy opportunities next week versus selling opportunities. But short term, as far as a day trader or scalper is concerned, there might be some sell opportunities for you. The 4-hour standpoint, as you can see here, like I said, short term we may pull downwards like this, okay, but I would believe it's going to struggle right around this price, okay, at 1.08. 39.0671, somewhere around there. Okay, because I don't think it's going to breach this low right here. I think it's going to kick off this trend line here, and there will be an engulfing pattern. Once you see that, that might be a very high probable trading opportunity for you to look for low risk or high potential trades. Like for instance, here we have pretty much a double bottom. We did talk about this before as well. Look how small of a stop loss you could have had. You don't have to take the break, but look at that retest and enter right there, stop loss there, and I mean big take profit in comparison to stop loss. Same thing here. We may kick off this trend line or this support level right here and acting as support, and this thing could just keep on climbing. So overall, I'm looking for this thing to pull downwards short term, but on a swing chain perspective, I'm looking for this thing to climb back up. The 1 hour standpoint is we're just like I said, this is more choppier. So the 5-minute and the 15-minute chart in this perspective, I think would be tough to trade, but you could take a small sell position now once it opens up, looking as this as your swing high and not breaking the upward trend. So short term, we are downtrending. And like I said, if it does climb down, kick off of again, this might be a great trend line to refer to as a breaking command. So it may struggle here, but ultimately I think the price will hold above this 1.06 area. It may peak downwards like a wick, but I think a closing price above here will continue going upwards on the upward daily trend. The euro yen. Couple things about it is the euro has been influenced by the actual non-farm payroll. So you can see that this long wick is pretty much looking like the euro dollar, right? And the pound dollar usually has a similar pattern as the euro yen. So we'll probably have the same analysis. One thing to consider is I'm going to squeeze the chart a little bit on a technical perspective, and you can see that we're on an overall uptrend. But let's see if we can fit a trend line. Oh my gosh, look how good it fits. Even though it barely, not even dings off of it, but look how beautiful that is. Say, so looking at this point of view, I'm looking for more buy opportunities than looking to sell it. But there is some, selling points that you can look for. But like I said, I think the price itself will hold above right around here. So next week, like this thing, because there's a long tail, it may not respect that. We're looking for a closing price above this area, or a white candlestick, or even an X trade. So I'm looking for a bounce off this X, or the March to May filter downwards, engulf off of 139.04, and then start to trade upwards. The 4-hour standpoint, again, this is a longer term perspective, is you can see it's rejecting it. There's a triple top. It's meandering, so short term you could sell this off. It's just a little more risky because you are going against the daily trend. But what I like is this. Okay, we're forming this triangle, but I'm not going to move this bottom trend line because it is the day charts trend line. I want to see what it does over here. I want to see if it goes, like, it comes back down and creates a double bottom here and another engulfing candlestick like that. But this is a breaking opportunity. This thing could just climb up and then take off. So we can have a small stop loss in comparison of, holding this either to the break of this trend line, or we can refer to these resistance and support levels as target points on the left-hand side. Okay, so this thing could just climb. It may not, but we may see some choppiness next week, I would say, for a few days. So it may go choppy, but like I said, overall I'm looking to buy this up. 4-hour, again, we are just consolidating a little bit. In the 1 hour, yeah, it's consolidating, so not really selling it. You could sell it short term, like maybe taking 10 pips here and there, but like I said, I'm more interested to see what happens down here with certain patterns on the upward swing. The pound yen. Now, the pound and the euro don't have to follow each other, okay? So, for instance, here we have obvious resistance, okay? And if we pull this back, we've been on a strong uptrend, but we're topping out. We're like hitting the ceiling here. So a couple things that I like about this market is that we have broken this trend line here. Okay, we've broken a trend line. We're in a phase where this market is pretty indecisive, but this is the pound yen, so you have to consider that this thing moves really quickly, and also consider the spread is a lot bigger than some currency pairs. That's one thing you want to consider. 4-hour standpoint, we're kind of engulfing, but we haven't really committed. Okay, I'm looking for something like this. So this market may do something like this. So shuffle around for a couple days, and then pick a direction. It's probably not very safe to enter right now yet, but I'm looking at a 1-hour standpoint. In a 1-hour standpoint, you could take a small position as a sell because we have closed beyond this trend line on the 1-hour standpoint. But like I said, looking at the other time frame, the 4-hour, we're expecting this kind of condition. We may just hit a double top, and so this thing moves so much that the trend line break might not be worth it. We may pull back up as a double top, and that would be around 172.28 as that. Okay, 1-hour standpoint, like I said, this thing may not commit yet, but you can take the trade. I mean, you can take the small trade, but we haven't created a high and a lower high, so I'm actually more interested of this bouncing off right here and pulling back up and then commit. So this may just go sideways for next week. Okay, but I like this trend line. It is really nice. So there was some great trend trading this last week, and I hope you took a part of that. But looking at this as a bigger time frame perspective, and this is the pound yen, I'm looking for more of a commitment pattern of a break of 171.89. Once we commit, or we see that we're starting to show a reversal pattern right around here as a double top. So I want to see this market come up and double top, engulf, and then I'll look for a sell opportunity, because this 1-hour trend line is a little early for this pair, because like I said, we had a really strong run. So this may be a false break and maybe just kind of meander like this and then chop up, and so some traders may just get out because they're scared and they don't understand this point of view. But overall, I mean, my bias is long term. We're looking to sell off because we've broken a trend line on the day chart, broken a trend line on the 1-hour standpoint, but we haven't really established a direction because look at how it's just consolidating here. So we haven't have a high or a lower high. I'm looking for the lower high so I can get a better price. Okay, but ultimately, I mean, if you look at it, once we establish that, I mean, we have a really small stop loss. Maybe a 40-point stop loss depending on this pattern here soon, to a take profit of 260 pips, which is massive, right, for this pair. The euro pound, I'm going to go ahead and clean this chart up. It's obviously a tug of war between the euro and the pound, but let's actually look at the day chart. So we've been on a really strong downtrend, and this thing does not have to go back up. So one thing to consider is this trend line is looking great, okay, on the day chart. So maybe a pull back up and then a continued move downwards, and it may break this lower low, but let's actually look at a bigger point of view. Yeah, this thing is just trending down. I mean, you can look at this like this. So it chops up, you see the break of this trend line. It doesn't really respect it, as you can tell, but here's the obvious trend line of the downward swing. So one thing to consider is if the market ever got back up here, we may see another trend line on a smaller time frame to continue the downtrend like this. Okay, we may see it pull up, pull back down, pull up, break, and then continue going on the downward trend. So there was some great selling opportunity, and like I said, I hope you took advantage of that. And the 4-hour standpoint, it's just choppy. I mean, this one may be a little bit tougher to trade for next week, so it might be a pair that you just want to completely stay away from. Or you can see this thing come back up to this price right around 0.8133 and then kick back down for the sell opportunity. So we have a shallow trend line like this, so we're looking for a recommitment So it's something like this where it breaks like that, and then you can see it move up, retest, and then continue downwards. We may see this thing just filter up and then break downwards. The 1 hour standpoint, this is the non-farm payroll area. So you can see how it just pokes down like a spike, and you can see that the trend line looks a little different. But this is going to be tough to trade, guys. I mean, I don't even think you can scalp this market because it is a euro pound. The spread may widen, and as well as you can see that we're just choppy. So really sideways market. And but long term, I mean, if you look at it in a long term perspective, I'm looking to sell this off. So if it re-breaks and closes beyond this trend line here, I may look for a retest of this price right here after the breakout. So we're looking for a break of 0.8104 per se, but like I said, this market may just chop up and down. So a better entry in reality for sell opportunity would be if the market comes up and comes around this area. Even I don't think it will X out because of where it's at, because the X is behind it. I would expect it to be right around this area and maybe even break this trend line to be a false break, maybe looking like a wick on the 4 hour. And this would be the resistance, so 0.8146, and maybe keeping your stop above here, 10 pips or 30 pips, and looking for an engulfing pattern to trade it back down towards the downtrend of the day chart. Okay, so that's the technical analysis for all those pairs. I'm going to probably just do a quick update in the chat room and let you guys know how these trades worked out, or the analysis of it. But that just gives you an idea of some trading opportunities this week. And like I said, I hope you feel free to email us or let us know if you're interested on more of a personal basis training and get more so you can use this long term and be able to rely on your own trades and your own analysis and become a consistent Forex trader. So guys, I hope you had a great week, and hopefully this week will be good for you too. Alright, take care.